Siuzana, very welcome. Great to have you here. You are the Secretary General of the Ukraine Seed Association, and I understand that recently the Ukraine adopted the Euro integration law. Can you explain a bit what that means?
Marcel, thank you for this invitation. And I try to speak briefly on this item. For sure, full-scale war has transformed all agricultural sector in Ukraine with no exemptions, and the seed sector is also. But at the same time, Ukrainian producers continue to seek solutions, and Ukraine have a political solution on EU integration, yes, and we have the roadmap, and this law is one step on this way. For seed sector, it's one of the basic things, because we started our process even earlier. I think maybe already 10 years we are going forward to the European market and try to be in line with the EU standards, step by step, changing our Ukrainian standards to European requirements. And how to say, we understand the clear rules and the responsible enforcement our partners would like to see and expect from us. And that was our, how to say, confirmation of this process. And the basic things, now Ukrainian producers can introduce new varieties registered in the EU or in the USA without two-year loan studies. Then we improve them. Norms relevant to registration of parental lines, so the most sensitive matter for breeding companies. Also, we simplify some questions concerning import of non-registered varieties in Ukraine, but that are in the list of OECD catalog. It's for, how to say, it's a need for breeding companies to improve their breeding programs, ensure seed production, and to work for new technologies, considering climate changes, and Ukraine is geographically different, and so, how to say, it's one of the advantages. From our point of view, we can provide our Ukrainian farmers.
Now, very nice progress. You know, another step forward, and knowing the good quality of the Ukraine seed sector, I have no doubt that soon there will be full integration. So good luck with that. If we talk about the recent adoption of the GM law in the Ukraine, can you explain a bit more about that, and how does the Ukraine seed sector feel about that new law?
For our point of view, and we have a Seed Association of Ukraine, and seed sector supports the need for clear GMO regulation, because we had hard and long discussions on what kind of regulation we have to have. But as I mentioned in my previous comment, Ukraine is integrated to EU, and for sure our target is to be in line with the EU requirements, especially in this sensitive issue. And we expect that we have a lot of work in developing secondary legislation together, because the law was signed by the president, voted and signed. The new law was signed and was voted and signed by the president, but we have 3 years for its enforcement, responsible enforcement. And in this law, the main items are to strengthen the risk assessment, to make a clear position on what kind of crops we can use in the open environmental system and closed environmental system, and the requirements to them legal entities who will operate in this system if they will be yes. No, we understand that this sphere is. There are some also maybe political discussions on this necessity, but from now the position and that we have to integrate the EU and to be aligned with the EU. That's why we have the ban for some crops, especially for corn, for growing in an open system, and predict the rule that after our joining to the EU, I mean a complete joining to the EU, we will again back to this issue, and there will be some GM that appeared in Ukraine that are restricted in the EU. We will do the same, and step by step.
Yeah, sure.
Also, we pay attention to the right of the consumers for labeling in products, and responsibility for correct information, and the system of state control, especially on clear roles and the responsibilities of authorities involved in this process.
Okay, thank you. Another thing, let's say fairly recent development was some EU countries, they were banning cereal imports from the Ukraine. Can you share a bit more on that?
No, but in the beginning of October, yes, this year, European Commission lifted this ban on 4 category of agriculture products imported from Ukraine, with the obligation for Ukraine to implement a mechanism of state control of export these products for these countries. Mostly it was discussed about license as a mechanism of control. And it's, prevent aims for keeping prices in the countries that are on close neighbors, and to keep maybe situation in them. And now Bulgaria and Romania confirms that they agree with our mechanism of licensing. In regards of Poland, Slovenia, and Hungary, we are waiting the response, because we understand that the situation varies in this country. But we expect that after all these politicians and emotional dialogues, and because from our point of view it was excessive political tense in this situation, we will continue our negotiation and will arrange on clear rules for them, because for us a great honor that they are our neighbors, and we respect and understand that they also have some internal challenges, but we all have the common aim to support and develop sustainable agricultural production in the European countries, yes, and first of all to provide our consumers with a product of best quality.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Siuzana. I really, really hope that the very difficult situation in your country will end soon. All the best with that.
Thank you, Marcel. And for really, it's the hardest times we now live in, but we are, as I mentioned, our Ukrainian producers inspired us. They continue to work in even such conditions, try to find solutions, often work without profits, but they see that their future, and that's why we are working for them.
A very strong and resilient people.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Siuzana.
Thank you, Marcel.